You're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
On Friday night, it was time for the Bronx Bombers. Robinson Cano with one swing, a two-run home run. The next swing, another two-run home run. And the Yankees were off to the races in this Subway Series. Last night, Mark Teixeira went yard. And again, the Yankees won as they'd taken the first two of the three against the Mets. Today on a Sunday, a gorgeous Sunday in New York City, the Yankees will go for the sweep. Let the arguing begin. Yankees, Mets, next on Yes.
Yankees.
And Hyundai presents the Sunday game of the week. It's the New York Yankees against the New York Mets in the final game of a three-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees Baseball along with David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. It's been a good first two games for the Yankees, and what they did was they used the formula, David. Home runs and good starting pitching usually equals victories.
Yeah, it's a great combination, and if you're a pitcher, you like those home runs to come early in the game, as they did for Hiroki Kuroda, and Robinson Cano provides it for you. And, when he hits it right off the bat, he knows it. Drop and watch. That must feel nice. I never hit him like that, Michael, but then Swisher follows it up. Johan Santana off the no-hitter had some trouble. All his pitchers were up in the zone. A changeup finally from Andrew Jones stays fair inside the foul pole. All these runs go early. Nick Swisher needs to learn how to loosen up a little bit. He's too reserved. And Mark Teixeira as well the next night. Teixeira's getting it going. When that Yankee middle of the order gets it going early in the games, that just gives your pitcher so much more confidence. And you're going to see it. The pitchers feed off the hitters feed off the pitchers.
Well, take a look at these numbers. The Yankees have now outscored the Mets in the first two games 13-3. Yankees with 6 home runs. David just told you about those. The Mets with 2. And the Yankees starting pitchers, Kuroda and Hughes, 13 in the third innings pitched and 2 runs, and both of them were allowed by Hughes. The Yankees 6-1 in their last 7 games against the Mets. Well, can the Yankees go for the sweep? When we come back, a battle of left-handers. We'll break it down, but we'll tell you why Andy Pettitte has been so unbelievable since coming out of retirement. David Cohn will do the honors next, right here on Yes. Pitching matchup. Jonathan Neese is going to go for the Mets. He's 4-2 with a 4.11. Andy Pettitte for the Yankees, 3-2, 2.78. David, you wonder, is Andy Pettitte actually better than he's been in a long time?
Well, I think he is. He's certainly better in terms of being more efficient, of getting deeper in the games, of throwing strike one. He's really provided a blueprint for young pitchers to watch. Work fast, throw strikes, get your fastball over in good spots, and then go to work and try to expand the strike zone. That's what's allowed him to get so deep into the games. Right out of the gate, missing a year, coming right back, it looks like he's never missed a beat.
And if you look at the numbers, they just jump out at you. the most in the first 5 starts innings pitched since 2001. He's striking out more than he struck out in a while. 4.6 strikeouts per walk ratio. Unbelievable. And 7 1/3 innings on Tuesday against the Rays. 2 hits and 10 strikeouts. Meredith Marakovitz caught up with Joe Girardi before the game and asked him some of Andy Pettitte's personality.
Andy has his little quirks during his starts where he'll yell sometimes, he'll talk to himself sometimes, and it's just Andy. Being Andy is probably the best way to describe it.
You look at the rotation in the month of June, 6-1, ERA under 2. How much do you credit Andy for helping stabilize the rotation?
I think he's helped. I think he's really helped our young guys understand the meaning of managing expectations, and Andy has that work ethic and that preparation that's really, really good, and I think guys can learn a lot from him.
Andy Pettitte will take on the crosstown rival Mets in the final game of the first edition of the Subway Series. The Yankees looking for the sweep. Lineups, first pitch, baseball next. Max, 0 calories, maximum Pepsi taste. By the professionals at your Tri-State GMC dealer. Why just go when you can go pro? And by Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. Perfect day for a little cold water, a little humidity in the air. Those kids are enjoying themselves, and inside, about 48,000 kids will enjoy themselves as they watch the Yankees against the Mets. Andy Pettitte is taking the mound. Why don't we take a look at the Mets starting lineup that he's going to face, put together by manager Terry Collins. Andres Torres, the center fielder, leads off. Batting second, playing left field, Jason Bay. David Wright at third base will hit third. Cleaning up, right fielder Scott Hairston. Lucas Duda, the DH, will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base, Vinny Rotino. Omar Quintanilla, the shortstop, will bat seventh. Batting eighth and catching is Mike Nikias. And Jordani Valdespin, the second baseman, will bat ninth.
And here's the lefty. He's been brilliant since he's come off of his abbreviated retirement. And on the season, this will be start number 6. And look at that ERA, the innings pitched, only 7 walks and 32 strikeouts. And the scouting report, better than ever. I mean, we covered in the pregame show and the BP show, 4.6 strikeouts to every walk. That's almost twice as good as he has for his career numbers. That leads to being an innings eater. You throw a lot of strikes, you're going to throw a lot of innings. 35 2/3 innings so far this year in 5 starts. That's the most he's had since 01 through 5 starts. And Juan gone, well, he tied Juan Marichal on the all-time list for wins with his last start. If he wins tonight, he goes to number 50 ahead of Juan.
Let's do it here in the Bronx. The first pitch is a strike, and we are underway. The 0-1. Grounded to short. Jason Nix is there, and there's 1 away. Why don't we check out the Yankee defense, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Andrew Jones at left, Curtis Granderson at center, Nick Swisher over and right. In the infield, it's A-Rod Nix, Cano and Teixeira third and first. Jeter's the DH today. Martin is behind the plate, and Andrew Eugene Pettitte is on the mound. Here's Jason Bay, 0 for 7 since coming off the DL. On Friday, he batted 8th. Today, he's batting second against the lefty Pettitte. First pitch outside. draw a strike. Home plate umpire is Mike Muchlinski. Why did he bat him second? Here's one of the reasons. 14 for 32 lifetime against Pettitte. But Jason Bay seems to be a different player than he was with the Red Sox. One. High drive, deep left, backing up Jones on the track. He'll make the play. 2 outs.
Well, off the bat, it looks like it's got a chance. Andy Pettitte trying to come in. That ball's on the plate. Jason Bay takes a good whack at it. For a minute, he thinks he's got it. But Andruw Jones has made a lot of catches like this, and this is Death Valley in Yankee Stadium.
Here's David Wright. Had a home run in yesterday's game. Put together a great season. 3rd in the National League with a .355 average. And he hits .393 in day games. Pitch outside. Also a .455 on base percentage. Soft ground ball to second. Cano is there. And a 1-2-3 inning for Andy Pettitte, and he did it with just 7 pitches. Mets don't score. The New York Yankees coming to bat. Starting lineup that he's going to face, presented by Lexus. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, leads off. Batting second, playing center is Curtis Granderson. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Cleaning up, third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Robinson Cano at second will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing right field, Nick Swisher. Andruw Jones in left field will bat seventh. The number 8 hitter is the catcher, Russell Martin. And Jason Nix plays shortstop, and he's going to bat ninth.
Here's the lefty, Jonathan Nice. The Mets have high hopes for him. He's starting to get it going a little better. The Mets rotation has really carried their team all year. This will be his 12th start. Good record, 4.11 ERA, 26-61. He's a strikeout guy from the left side. And the scouting report is you got to get him early. 5.73 ERA in the first 3 innings this year, just 2.22 after that. But he's dominant against lefties. Only 1 extra base hit the whole year, and that was a double. And so can the Sun. He's 3-0 with a 2.35 ERA during the daytime this year.
Here's Derek Jeter, 1 hit and 10 at bats. And his average has dropped to .314. But that's still good for 6th in the American League. Terry Collins going to keep a close eye on Jonathan Nice. He's had to deal with a rapid heartbeat that he is going to have a surgical procedure performed on to correct, but that will be during the offseason. In his last start against St. Louis, had to walk around the back of the mound as his heart sped up. He's had it a couple of times. Ground ball is short. Quintanilla gets Jeter, one away. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. A little bit hot, but what do you expect? 80 degrees, 61% humidity, not much wind, and it's partly cloudy. Here's Curtis Granderson. No one's popped up. David Wright makes the play. They say in fair territory for the second out. The Mets defense, let's look at it, is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Bay, Torres, and Hairston left to right in the outfield. Infield is Wright, Quintanilla, Valdespin, Rotino. That's third to first. Nicky is behind the plate. And Jonathan Neese is on the mound. Here's Teixeira. Had a home run in last night's game. So did Granderson. And as David showed you in the open, 6 home runs for the Yankees in the first 2 games of this series. One and one.
All of a sudden, Teixeira up to 11 home runs. They usually come in bunches. So we've seen Teixeira over his Yankee career with slow starts, but when he gets hot, those home runs come in multiple games, early and often. But a much different approach batting right-handed. You see that open stance? He's more likely to go the other way and drive the ball in the gaps batting right-handed as opposed to the left-handed pull swing.
High fly ball. Just to the left of dead center. Andres Torres puts it away. And that will do it as the Yankees go down in order. Leading off for the Mets in the second, Scott Hairston against Pettitte. What has been the most surprising individual storyline during the Mets season so far? Your choices are: number 1, R.A. Dickey's dominance; number 2, Santana's no-hitter; number 3, Wright's resurgence. Text your vote to 42951. Standard text messaging rates apply. What do you think, David? It has to be R.A. Dickey, right? 9-1?
Well, I think overall, R.A. Dickey, I mean, the Mets have waited a long time for a no-hitter, and it's been well documented. But when you talk about the overall season, R.A. Dickey is an amazing story.
Count 1-1. I really believe when you see the Mets are 32-28. When you see the lineup that they're running out there today, line drive, a base hit down the left field line. Andrew Jones plays the carom. They'll fire in, and Hairston has a double. I was going to say, David, I think Terry Collins is doing some job.
Well, he really is, and they're looking for anybody in that lineup to provide production to go with David Wright, and Lucas Duda's got some pop, but this guy, Scott Hairston, 8 home runs this year, kind of under the radar, a good year for the Mets.
So here's Lucas Duda. One of the lefties he keeps in the lineup against Pettitte.
But I agree with you, Michael. Terry Collins, he just has done a wonderful job with the Mets. He's got them right in the thick of the race, and the further this goes on and the more magic he can pull out, and of course that Mets rotation carrying him as well, the more that team's going to start to believe. And you know what they say with the Mets, you got to believe, right?
They've said that a number of times. Two off. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, said Tim Cheetah.
Get a look from the side. A hitter says no. I'm a pitcher. I say yes because the bat head's in the strike zone and almost in front of the plate. That's a good call in my book.
2-2. Count full at 3-2.
Be a different story next year. Just 3 interleague games between the Mets and the Yankees as Houston moves to a different league, to the American League, to even things out. So this will be the last year you see the Mets and Yankees playing 6 times in 1 year.
Three-two. Swing and a miss. Big strikeout for Pettitte. Keeps Hairston at second base.
Well, what do you call this pitch? Back in the day, Andy called it his cutter, but that's more slider-like break. You can see the tilt. It's more sweeping. You see the grip, the horseshoe, the turn of the wrist, the 4 seams tumbling over. What a great shot in Yesmo. You can see it looked like it was right on the outer part of the plate. By the time it gets there, it's in the dirt.
Here's Vinny Rotino playing first base today. It was a big lead for Hairston. You know, talk to Pettitte about his success so far, 3-2, 2.78. He's not surprised. He said, I wouldn't have come back unless I thought I was going to be good. But what does surprise him, all the strikeouts. He said that he doesn't understand. That's out of nowhere. Maybe he just is a smarter pitcher on the mound.
Well, I think so. I think it goes hand in hand when you're aggressive and you're in attack mode. And Andy, since he has come back, has just been a fast worker, strike 1, strike 2. And you see through the first 5 starts of the season, this is the most that he's ever had in his career. And you combine that with fewer walks as well. We talked about his strikeout to walk ratio in the scouting report. 4.61 strikeouts to every walk, almost double his career rate.
The way he's pitched since coming back, you would think that maybe he regrets sitting out the year and retiring, but I asked him that, And he said, absolutely not. I'm so happy I did it. I got to spend a year with my family, he said, and now I'm back. He said, no, I would not take anything back. And I also get the feeling, I don't know if you sense this, David, I don't think it's just this 1 year and then out. I think he's ready to pitch for a while if his body holds up.
Well, that's the payoff at the end of this thing, is that Andy's throwing so well, and if he can stay healthy, why not think about another year?
2-0. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Hairston round third. He's coming home. He will score. The throw comes into second. It's an RBI single for Rotino, and it's 1-0 Mets.
Sometimes the ground balls have eyes. Pettitte gets it over the middle of the plate a little too much. Vinny Rotino hitting 167 coming into this. You see it's about 3 hops and through the middle. Clean base hit and an RBI, and that's got to feel good.
Here's Quintanilla. He's looked good in these 2 games. Yesterday he was robbed of an extra base hit. A great running play in left center field by Curtis Granderson. Runner goes. Pitches a strike. Throw to second. Not in time. Stolen base for Vinny Rotino.
Well, Andy Pettitte's got the most pickoffs in the history of the game since it became a stat, and the way you do it is just like Rotino just did. You guess and you go off a first move. 1, 2, 3 steps. Andy with a high leg kick and easily in there. The foot beats it, but here, keep the glove on the foot just in case it slides off. He did.
Nothing Mets. We're in the second. 1-2. He's allowed a stolen base in each of his last 4 starts. And the last time he played baseball in 2010, he allowed 2 steals in 21 starts. What do you make of that?
Well, yeah, that's the pattern with Andy. I mean, he's got a high leg kick and a great pickoff move. And the way you steal off of him is like a hitter guessing, looking for a fastball. You just go off of the first move. You see the high leg kick go up and you take off. And there might be a little read in there that the Mets may have, whether he's turning his head one way or another. Or always looking for a little tip off, but you just kind of guess with Andy and you can get a big jump.
Had 99 pickoffs in his career. As David said, that's the most since they've kept that stat.
Well, the big high leg kick from the stretch sets you up for a good pickoff move, but if you go home, it's a long delivery. So plenty of time to get a jump. Has gotten some good at bats this whole series. He's a good college player for the University of Texas, part of the 2002 national championship team.
Missed outside. Quintanilla walks.
See Andy trying to find out where that pitch was. A lot of squawking. Russell Martin setting up late and away. Probably got that ball down, maybe a little off the plate. Very close.
Here's Mike Nickias, hitless in his last 10 at bats, hitting 141. And a strike to Nickias. Ground ball, and off the glove of Cano. Everybody is safe. Cano was trying to field and then reach for the bag and get the double play, and neither happened.
Well, that's exactly right. You know, playing up the middle, holding the runner on second base. This looks like a base hit up the middle. Might have got a piece of Andy, but a big hop off the heel of Cano's glove. And as Michael said, he was probably thinking a little bit ahead, trying to turn the double play, and not sure if that got Andy or not. You see right off the heel of the glove as he's almost arranging his body to turn and step on second base. This is where your third base coach earns his money, because after the bobble, he easily could have been picked off a third, rounding too far.
So that scored an E4, and that's going to bring up Jordani Valdespin. 0-1.
A lot of syllables on the Mets' last three hitters in this order.
Quintanilla, Nikias, and Valdespin. Base hit inside first and down the right field line. Rotino scores. Quintanilla scores. Nikias will stop at third. And Valdespin with a 2-run double, giving the Mets a 3-0 lead.
A lot of syllables and a lot of action from the bottom of the Mets order. And a pretty good pitch. Andy busted him up and in. Valdespin quick and keeping it fair. And of course, the configuration of Yankee Stadium, you got a little nook and a cranny right there, and it bounces straight out. And anybody else but the Mets catcher today running probably would have scored.
Infield meets on the mound with Larry Rothschild holding the meeting. Just settling things down for Andy Pettitte. So just like that, the Mets have 3 runs here in the top of the second inning. Andres Torres grounded out to short in the first. The Yankees play the infield in at the corners, back at second and short. Count 1-0 to Torres.
It's a very important part of the game this early, too, with only 1 out. Mets already with a 3 spot. Andy Pettitte trying to limit the damage right here.
Count 2-0.
Kind of felt Michael coming into today. This is a huge game for the Mets, you know, with Johan Santana getting blown out in the Friday game, and then a tough loss yesterday. The Mets could get today, they'd feel a lot better about themselves.
.26 pitches so far in this inning for Pettitte. And he walked him on 4 pitches to load the bases.
Haven't seen that too much this year. A 4-pitch walk from Andy Pettitte. But he does set up the double play here with Jason Bay. And Andy Pettitte is very adept at getting double play balls.
Be interesting to see if you can get Bay to hit the ball on the ground. Boy, he hits a lot of fly balls. He had one in the first inning deep to left center. For 8 in this series.
Another big change in Andy Pettitte since he's come back. He's definitely calling his own pitches. You see him shake off Russell Martin there twice.
Strike. Backdoor breaking ball.
That's a great way to get a quick strike. Go to the curveball. Now you can go to work with a strike under your belt.
Quickly 0-2.
Now your strategy changes a little bit if you're Pettitte. You're thinking strikeout now. Coming into this at bat, as Michael said, Jason Bay more of a fly ball hitter, but double play, not so much now. Now you're trying to make a really good pitch.
Now 1-2. "30 pitches this inning so far for Pettitte. The 1-2. Now he's got to make it happen on 2-2. You got the dangerous David Wright on deck.
Back-to-back sliders down and in, and Jason Bay just sitting on them, not even offering. So on the mound, you got to change your strategy. Maybe go back away, try to backdoor a pitch.
Swing and a miss, he got him. Big strikeout.
Well, good read of the bat, and indeed it was. And this is the four-seamer, which is more like Andy's cutter. You see there's a little left to right movement on that 88-mile-an-hour pitch. And it starts off the plate. And you almost see Bay opening up, guarding against the cutter in or the sliders in, and Pettitte very effective, going away, backdooring just around the edge. Jason Bay caught off guard.
There's David Wright, and a strike. David Wright, the 9th Met to come to the plate in the inning. Mets have been good with 2 outs and runners in scoring position this year. 2nd in the National League, 4th in the majors. The 0-2. Same thing he tried to do with Jason Bay. Let's see if he goes with another slider on 1-2.
Yeah, it's almost like Andy's four-seam fastball has become the cutter, and the cutter has become the slider.
1-2. He gets him. He strikes him out. But the Mets bats come alive here in the 2nd inning. Vinny Bertino drives in Scott Hairston, and then Quintanilla, and then Valdespin, and it's 3-0 Mets. In an intra-league matchup, the first 18,000 fans in attendance receive a Yankees water bottle courtesy of Delta Airlines. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Pitches outside. Andy Pettitte threw 7 pitches in the first inning and 36 pitches in the second. Mets bat around. They score 3. They leave the bases loaded. One of the runs of the 3 unearned because of the error by Cano. Count 3-0 to Alex.
It could have been a lot worse too. Andy Pettitte limiting the damage last inning with 2 strikeouts.
Four out of the zone to Alex, so a leadoff walk here in the second. And that's going to bring up Cano. Now, David told you this in the scouting report. Lefties don't hit Nice. We've already seen Granderson pop up to third, so lefties so far this year, 5 for 31 against Nice. But Robinson Cano had 2 home runs against the lefty on Friday. The lefty was just throwing a no-hitter, Johan Santana.
And of course, the cardinal sin for a pitcher after you were spotted a 3 runs in the top of the second, you walk the leadoff hitter on 4 pitches.
Cano was stepping out as the pitch was being delivered, and the pitch way outside. He's not allowed a home run to a lefty this season. 1 allowed in his last 29 starts, and Nikias wants to talk with him quickly. Six straight out of the zone. There's a strike. Count 2-1. Fouled away.
Well, you're a young pitcher, lefty pitching in Yankee Stadium, Michael, and you get 3 runs scored for you, and you can see he's just a little excitable. Just, a little quick. Now he's got it back. 2 quick strikes to Cano. But almost a little over anxious with the prosperity of 3 runs.
That one is looped into left field, a base hit. First 2 on for the Yankees. First and second, nobody out for Swisher.
Right down the middle. Cano fights it off. When Cano's going good, he hits the fastball the other way and pulls the off-speed pitches, generally speaking. That's been his formula. As you remember, the slider that Johan Santana threw him for the second home run on Friday night.
Nick Swisher, 6 hits in his last 17 at-bats. He slipped and fires the third to get the force.
Well, this is one area the Yankees have not done a good job this year. As Swisher, it looks like he takes it upon himself to try to move the runners over with a bunt, but right back to the pitcher. And Nice had all day to nail Alex at third.
I don't get that, Dave. You're down 3 runs. The guy's a home run hitter. Why are you bunting?
Yanks were just 5 for 14 in sacrifice bunts this year. Only 5 successful attempts. Make that 5 for 15. So that's a pretty low rate, under 40%.
Pitch inside to Andrew Jones.
League average, as I mentioned on Friday night, the league average for sacrifice bunt attempts and success rate is about 60%. The Yankees now at 33% on the year.
So Jones gets himself into a fastball count here. That's what he does. There's a strike. Now 2-2. Over the first 3 innings, 5.73 ERA, so you must get to him early. And then after the 3rd inning, he pitches an ERA to the low 2s. That's why the bunt makes even less sense. And he strikes out Andrew Jones. 2 away.
Kind of sneaky fast, just off the plate. 93 miles an hour. Neese can pump it up when he needs to. Andrew Jones reaching, not getting there.
Here's Russell Martin, starting to pick it up. 10 hits in his last 28 at bats. 1-0. Mets locked up Neese on April 7th. They signed him to a 5-year contract with 2 team option years. So he's essentially under their control until 2018. Two and one. That's what you do with left-handers.
One of the first curveballs we've seen from Neese. He's had a little bit of control problems these first couple of innings. 15 balls and 14 strikes.
First and second, 2 outs. Bottom of the second. There's a fastball strike, 2-2. Went off speed there, and the count still 2-2.
Nice comeback by Neese here. Now he's in a position after walking the first guy on 4 pitches and first and second, nobody out. With the help of the bunt and given an out, he's got a chance to get right out of this and retain that 3-0 lead.
And he does. He strikes out Russell Martin. So the Yankees get the first 2 base runners on. They don't get it done. No runs a hit. 2 men left. Scott Hairston will lead off the 3rd. BenjaminMoore.com/promo for $5 off a gallon of Benjamin Moore paints and stains. Now here's the guy who started off the second inning when the Mets batted around and scored 3. Scott Hairston. He opened up the inning with a double to left. Mets play well in day games, 17-8 in games under the sun. Overall, they're 32-28. Lincoln scoreboard 3-0. Mets lead the Yanks. As you look at the standings today in the East, the Mets are 3.5 games behind first place Washington, and the Yankees are half game behind first place Tampa Bay. They're essentially tied, the same amount of losses. And Interleague certainly makes strange bedfellows, because the Yankees will play Atlanta, and there's the AL East standings, and obviously Met fans will want the Yankees to beat Atlanta, and the Mets go to play Tampa Bay, so Yankee fans will want the Mets to beat Tampa Bay. In fact, Met fans might have to root for the Yankees all week. First, they have 3 in Atlanta, then 3 in D.C. against the Nationals. Count full at 3-2.
Another good at bat for Scott Hairston, the veteran. Came in hitting .359 versus lefties this year. 7 of his home runs also.
That one is looped into right field. It's a base hit. Placed beautifully. Hairston's 2 for 2.
Well, you know, there's a lot of sabermetricians out there that try to quantify the luck factor. Sometimes it's hard to do. 3-2, he's protecting, he gets beat. Fist right, just enough to get to the outfield grass. You know, hitters say, hey, I fought it off. That's good hitting. Pitchers are feeling a little unlucky on the mound.
Here's Lucas Duda. You know, sometimes interleague play is very tough to figure out. We know the Yankees have 6 games against the Mets this year, but they also have 6 games against the Braves. You have to wonder, why do they have 6 games against the Braves? So they have 3 in Atlanta and 3 here when they come back from the road trip. And then you throw in 3 against the Reds. There doesn't seem to be rhyme or reason to how they made the schedule up. Why the Reds? Why was the Reds thrown in there? That's in fact the 2nd year in a row they've played the Reds. And it also puts baseball at warring purposes. You want the unbalanced schedule so you don't have to travel as much. But then you want the balanced schedule because if you're playing for wild cards, you want everybody to have the same schedule to deal with. So what's right, what's wrong, what do you really want more? And as David mentioned earlier, next year, every day there's going to be an interleague game because there's going to be 15 teams in each league. And with an odd number of teams, an American League team is always going to play a National League team.
Yeah, I believe having only 4 teams in the American League West was one of the biggest mistakes going in baseball. One of the most unfair things going. So that will be rectified next year with Houston making the move to the American League.
Why didn't you like the 4? I don't get it. What bothered you about that?
Well, I just think it just gave an unfair advantage to the American League West. If you're the Angels or anybody out there, you've got one less team to battle for a division title.
Mm-hmm. The 0-2. And it also was very difficult travel for Texas. Now at least they'll have 9 games that they only have to travel to Houston. All the games that have to travel to the West Coast. And it also helps their television because the games against their own division, they weren't in the right time slot for the most fans to watch in Texas. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Duda down on strikes. So one down, and that's going to bring up Rotino. Mets really making Andy work. In fact, in his last 4 starts, he's given the Yankees at least 7 innings each time. And right now he's at 54 pitches here in the third. Strike.
You know, we pay attention to pitch count so much more nowadays, and if you're in the Yankee bullpen, you're paying attention too. If you're David Phelps or one of the Yankees' middle relievers, you're well aware of what's going on here. You start to anticipate the flow of this game and maybe think, hey, I got a chance to get in this game. Andy true to form. Got a little growth working, and he will shave after the game.
And they haven't picked off. And Harrison is tagged out. So that's called a caught stealing.
Just taking off. Jumped the gun. And Andy Pettitte could almost walk up and kiss him on the cheek.
Different guys take different routes to the big leagues. Vinny Rotino attended the University of Wisconsin at Madison, and he wanted to become a pharmacist. Then he attended a rally, attended a tryout for the Brewers, and eventually signed with Milwaukee.
That's how I got my start, Michael. You know, the high school I went to did not have a baseball team. So I went to a couple of tryout camps and got drafted by my hometown Kansas City Royals.
Why wouldn't your high school not have a baseball team?
With budgetary reasons, you know, they were short on money, and so I just played in summer leagues, actually against college guys. There was a summer league in the Midwest for 21 and under kids, and I was 15 playing in that league.
Swing and a foul tip, held on to by Russell Martin, and that'll do it in the third. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Coming up for the Yankees, Jason Nix will start it off. Our social networking app that lets Yankee fans interact with each other and the broadcast booth while watching the game. See what other fans are tweeting about and get up-to-the-minute scores and in-depth pitch-by-pitch stats, all at yesnetwork.com. Jason Nix leads off. Pitch is high. Moments ago, Joe Girardi, a little talk with Nick Swisher. And I'm sure a lot of that is, why did you bunt? Ground ball through for base hit for Jason Nix.
Hunting a fastball, gets it, finds the hole. Perfectly placed. Quintanilla's got some range. I didn't think he had any chance to get there. Almost did.
Lincoln scoreboard has the Mets up 3-0. Yankees going for a sweep, and the Mets trying to salvage the final game of this 3-game set. Here's Derek Jeter. Yankees are 51-35 in regular season games against the Mets, and they're 13-2 in series here in the Bronx, including this one, which they've already taken. Now just looking for the sweep. Count 2-0.
Well, you would expect Derek Jeter to be your pick to click today with his career numbers off of lefties. Career against the Mets. I mean, the numbers go on and on. Jeter's just worn out the Mets, and he's worn out left-handed pitching his whole career. And in a good spot here, 2-0 with a man on first.
Looks like a double play. There's one. And there's two. Derek, really in his first extended slump of this year, got off the mark so hot, hitting in the 400s, and his numbers have kind of dive bombed down to 311 right now. In this series, he's 1 for 12.
Good 2-0 pitch from Nice there.
Here's Granderson. Since May 8th, so a month and 2 days, Jeter's now hitting 228. I don't know if you could read that much into it, get alarmed. I just think it's a natural self-correction. He's not going to hit 420. So if he's a 300 hitter, he's going to have these slumps. High fly ball. Torres makes the catch, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Quintanilla will lead off against Andy Pettitte.
what he brings off the field as well as just a veteran guy, a competitor, a guy that you can ask anything, and he's probably got an answer for you. So yeah, I mean, he's been pitching great, and it doesn't even say what he brings in the clubhouse.
Phil Hughes on Andy Pettitte. Phil won the game yesterday. Andy Pettitte trailing 3-0 today as we go to the fourth. You've seen two sides of Andy Pettitte. When he first came up and you were here in '95, that was a young Andy Pettitte, probably kept his mouth shut. Now people look to him for information.
Yeah, and he's very comfortable in that role as well.
That one is driven out to left field. Jones back, makes the play. Quintanilla has some life in his bat. He really does. Been impressive.
Going away. It's up and out over the plate. Quintanilla hits that ball well. Andrew Jones turn and run. Right to the track.
3-0 on the Benjamin Moore scoreboard, top of the fourth inning.
The New Yorkers aren't getting tired of interleague play. Once again, baseball fans in New York have loved interleague play since 1997, and they come out and show it.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. Yankees had one sellout before this week, and I believe this is a sellout. And the Friday and Saturday were sellouts as well. Got the Yankee and Met contingents in the ballpark.
You can kind of just see it too, walking around Manhattan. The Mets hats come out, the Yankee T-shirts come out a little bit more during this series.
Hammered down the left field line, foul. Actually, came to the game yesterday as a fan, sat in the stands, and the discourse wasn't as nasty as it was at the beginning. I think people are a lot more chill about it. I think it was nice. Met fans sitting next to Yankee fans. Certainly no fights that I could tell. Anderson calls off Nix for the second. Time for the New York State Smokers Quit Line Quiz. Here's the question. Who are the 4 Hall of Famers who at one time in their careers played for the Mets and another New York baseball team?
Well, that opens it up. That's some good trivia questions this weekend.
Valdespin swings and misses. Valdespin's first major league hit was a pinch hit 3-run home run in the 9th inning against Jonathan Papelbon of the Phillies. That was on May 7th. Nice way to break in. Did he go? Tim Cheetah didn't move. Didn't really do much except maybe shake his head. Let's see. Don't knock yourself out, Tim. Count 1-2. Last time the Yankees swept the Mets at Yankee Stadium was in 2003, so it's been a while. And now they're down 3-0. Swing and a miss. Valdespin strikes out. The putout has made it first, so it's a strikeout, 2-3. Who's coming up in the bottom of the 4th inning? It's the heart of the order after Valdespin strikes out. It's Teixeira, A-Rod, and Cano. question. Who are the 4 Hall of Famers who at one time in their careers played for the Mets and another New York baseball team, which means the Giants, the Dodgers, or the Yankees? And the answer is Yogi Berra, Willie Mays, Duke Snider, and Rickey Henderson. Mark Teixeira leads off, and there's a strike. You like cotton candy, David?
Oh, my. Support your local dentist.
He's got a cup of soda there that Mayor Bloomberg would not be in line for, I'll tell you that. One. Right up the middle and through for a base hit.
Pitchers are about 55 feet close to home plate. And watch, the skip almost comes after the ball goes by. There's just not enough reaction time. Right on the butt. Right on by. Skip the rope.
Now we've seen Hiroki Kuroda get nailed on a comebacker, and he said he's going to be okay. They don't think he's going to miss the start. Benjamin Moore's scoreboard, 3-0 Mets. A couple of injury updates. Bad news on Brett Gardner. Woke up, his elbow still hurting him. They're going to send him for more tests, and Joe Jory said we can't even expect when he's going to get back. You know, hopefully it'll be sometime soon, but I don't think they're really optimistic. But they'll see what the further tests show. And then with David Robertson, looks like he could be back for the weekend in D.C., and that really completes the puzzle out in the bullpen.
Yep, good news, bad news.
High drive, right center, Torres back. He's on the track. He'll make the play in front of the wall. So Alex gave it a ride, but not enough.
Jonathan Neese, a little changeup right down the middle. Carrying, stop carrying. Thought for a minute, maybe. You gotta be kidding me. The Brett Gardner news sort of sent Yankee fans in a tizzy, and all the blogs lighting up with the Yankees going to have to go get an outfielder now. You know, a lot of talk out there about what the Yankees do next.
No, I asked Joe Girardi that, and you'll hear it on the WB Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show after the postgame. He said, I'm just going to, at least for the next week, he said, I'm going to platoon Ibanez and Jones in left field. He goes, because we really don't have a true designated hitter. He said, so I don't think it costs us anything in National League cities. But it'll be interesting, especially now that the starters seem like they've straightened themselves out. Everybody kind of thought, well, the Yankees are going to go out and get a starter. Maybe they don't need that. Maybe they spend some of their young talent to get an outfielder. But it's very frustrating for them with Gardner because they keep thinking he's close, and then the elbow acts up again. Overpowered Cano with the fastball. 2-away.
Well, this is what you do. 0-2, up the ladder, above the letters. Looks too good. The grip, looks like he almost had a little cutter grip there. You see Robbie trying to tomahawk that pitch.
Here's Nick Swisher in the second inning. Yankees had something going. First and second, and nobody out against Neese. He was struggling just a bit, struggling finding the plate. And Swisher inexplicably tried to bunt. And he bunted back to Neese, and Neese threw to third. And Alex Rodriguez wasn't expecting a bunt, wasn't even close. So the force was there. Count 1-1.
You see, see the horseshoe right here. The horseshoe is right where you usually hold a cutter. You see, that's not a four-seam grip, so that was a cutter that Neese threw. Kind of got away with it. It was up and out of the zone. Sometimes you get lucky as a pitcher, too. The hitter helps you out. That wasn't too good a telestrator work by me there, Mike.
I liked it, though. I got it. Count 3-1 on Swisher. Andrew Jones on deck.
He's a true 4-pitch pitcher. That's why the Mets love him and his potential.
Swisher thought that was ball 4. It was not. So the count 3-2, that will release to Sherrod first.
Another cut fastball. Boy, right probably just above the belt. Definitely got enough plate. Ooh, closer to the letters than the belt. Yeah, the last pitch is called a strike. Almost the same pitch. You better swing. Exactly the same pitch.
Grounded to Quintanilla. Goes across the diamond to get Swisher, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and one man left. Go to the 5th, top of the Met order against Andy Pettitte. They lead by 3. With more updates and the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today. See every Yankees out-of-market game live, online, and on your favorite devices in HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order. Get more details. MLB.tv, baseball everywhere. So Torres takes a pitch out of the zone. The count is now 1-0. We start the 5th. Yankees down 3-0. Pettitte deals. 1-1.
Big inning for Pettitte to try to catch up in that pitch count.
And he strikes out Torres. I said we'd hear from Bob later. I didn't know this quick. Here he is. Yankees will see the Braves tomorrow night. The pitch to Jason Bay is outside, 1-0. Bay 0 for 2, 0 for 9 since coming off the DL. On the DL since late April. Fractured a rib in his left rib cage.
Andy now 78 pitches at the top of the 5th. He's got a chance to sort of squeeze that margin after that long second inning.
Knicks. Bay hustling down the line. 2 outs. Hey, stay tuned during the 6th inning for a message from our friends at the Fox Business Network. Here's David Wright. He is 0 for 2, grounded to second, and then struck out a big strikeout as Andy kept the game in check. He had the bases loaded, and he struck out Bay and struck out Wright in that second inning. This ground ball up the middle and through for base hit.
Talking to himself on the mound. I tell you what, there's been a lot of ground balls that have found holes off of Andy today. And that will get you talking to yourself.
Pick off, throw to second. Got him. Now that's called the caught stealing, not a pickoff, because the runner did head back to first. So that's good. 1, 3, and then Teixeira will fire to Cano. 1, 3, 4. End of the inning. Situated in center field, the Mohegan Sun Sports Bar is a great place to gather and enjoy the game. Well, we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Mets leading 3-0. Mets scored all 3 runs in a rocky second inning for Andy Pettitte, but he has settled down. Jonathan Neese has done a good job through 4. Now face the bottom third of the Yankee order, starting with Andrew Jones. 1-0. Drops it in there for a strike.
Excellent pitch. Back-to-back curveballs. Took a little off the second one. 71 miles an hour.
One and two.
It's one of the keys with young pitchers that you're trying to teach them how to pitch, especially starters. When you start a hitter off with a curveball and you miss, to be able to come right back with it and throw for a strike. Double up. A very effective strategy. Jonathan Neese starting to get into more of a pitcher's mode now, mixing his pitches.
Jonathan Neese had a very strange arrangement with a former teammate, Carlos Beltran. Beltran used to ride him much of last year. Swing and a miss. About Neese's nose. And he said to Neese, if you get a nose job, I will pay for it. Well, Neese got a nose job. I think it cost $5,000. And there's the difference between the two noses. And Carlos Beltran paid for the procedure. It's an awful name for a nose job, rhinoplasty.
Think he got his money's worth?
Took the little bump off in the middle. Well, he got his money's worth. He didn't pay a dime.
The whirly-bird, rather. The big, long swing of Andrew Jones, letting go of the bat. Look at how long that comes around. Just misses him in the head and catches him on top of the forearm.
Count 1-0 to Russell Martin. He struck out in the second inning. Neese's pitch total's in good shape. 64 pitches here in the fifth.
Neese has been true to form. We noted in the pregame and the scouting report that you got to get him early, get him in those first 3 innings. And he did. He kind of struggled with his control. Not now.
Swing and a miss. Martin down on strikes.
He's working it down. All 4 pitches are being mixed in. We saw predominantly fastballs early and wild. Right on the black at the knees. Perfect location. Truly a 4-pitch pitcher. He's got the fastball cutter, a big hook, and a changeup. And his first 30 pitches or so were predominantly fastballs, and a lot of them out of the zone.
Count 1-0 to Jason Nix, who singled his first time up. Nix done a nice job hitting .265. Plays a variety of positions.
Very nice. Once again, doubling up with the curveball, but becoming much more unpredictable at this point.
Neese has not allowed an extra base hit today. Just 3 singles. And also 1 walk. Count 1-2.
Getting a good feel for that hook. He lost the hook at his nose, but he's got the one in his hand.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out the side. An impressive 5th inning for Jonathan Neese as Andrew Jones, Russell Martin, and Jason Nix go down swinging. Scott Harrison leads off. What has been the most surprising individual storyline during the Mets season so far? And here's how you voted. 50% say Dickey's dominance, and 37% Santana's no-hitter, and a distant third, David Wright's resurgence. That's pretty much how we would have voted. Hairston's 2 for 2 today against Pettitte. Rip foul. Three nothing Mets. 2-1. Hairston, Duda, and Rotino.
Pettitte on the mound. That's just what you got to do. Hold him right there and hope your team gets some runs and comes back. Sort of the mentality on the bench. Keep it right there. Did some damage control in that second inning too. Those 3 runs could be a lot worse. Stadium crowd unusually quiet, waiting for some action. Terry Collins said in his post-game press conference yesterday, he said singles don't win in this ballpark. He talked about the boom boom room, you know, Cano, boom boom, and the Yankees put some quick damage on the Mets in the first 2 games. I tell you, singles have worked so far in this game, especially when Jonathan Neese pitching.
Pettitte barehands it and flips to first. Now they'll worry. Let's see if he's okay.
Probably throw a pitch or 2 here. He seems to be okay, but you don't know. It's a little delayed effect there, but that is just instinct. People at home or even on the bench might say, why did you do that? That's your pitching hand. You can't help yourself.
To hear the ball slap against the skin.
One hop and the stab.
And now they'll let him take some throws.
The key here is the feeling in the hand. Even if he's okay and there's no damage, you still lose. That loss of sensation could really be a hamper. Fingertip pressure, so important for pitchers. Subtle movements off your fingertips create the movement that you need. Smack of a Major League Baseball off your hand will certainly inhibit that feel.
A lot of talking out there right now, and I don't know if they're quite convinced. Keeps looking at the hand and then flexing it.
Still hurts. Let's try the curveball. Not sold. We'll see a little quivering of the hand.
Leave him in. You get the sense, David, that they're not quite sold. Seem a little worried.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's almost as Andy was scolding himself right away for snatching that ball. Andy's not really selling it too hard either. You see the worry on his face as well.
Here's Lucas Duda. Fly ball, left field. Andrew Jones. Did he make the play? No, he did not.
Andy not selling me right here, Michael. I'm watching him closely here. And right after he throws the ball, you almost see a grimace and a shake of the hand. Andy's a tough competitor. You can see him. His mannerisms tell me that his hand is still bothering him.
You do that a lot, David, with the natural reaction ball back to the mound?
Yeah, it's just, it's instinct.
Did you ever get hurt?
Not really, no, but I never really had a situation quite like that one, you know, where there was a square direct hit on your pitching hand. But Andy's a tough guy, obviously. Does not want to come out of this game.
Swing and a miss. Strikes out Duda. So that's a strikeout, 2-3. Now let's look at the play, normal speed off the bat of Hairston, and listen as well. It's almost the sound of a ball hitting a glove. That's how squarely it did hit him. Here's Vinny Rotino. And a strike. And that was one of those times, if he didn't field that ball, it was a base hit. It was going to go up the middle. David Phelps starts to warm.
He's throwing nothing but strikes since then. I think that's the first ball he's thrown, so.
Exactly. I keep making that same mistake with their sideburns. I should identify them. I'm sorry. I've gotten wrong twice in this series. The 2-1. Driven out to right field. Deep. Swisher on the run, on the track, at the wall. He makes the play. So the Mets go down 1-2-3. Andy Pettitte looks okay. Top of the Yankee order coming up. And now a business update from our friends at the Fox Business Network.
Andy with that slider, really working it in the backdoor four-seamer to Jason Bay, but the rest are all going to be biting sliders in perfect locations. Andy's had the K-ball going this year. Coming into this start, he had 3 consecutive starts at home of 8 Ks or more. Make that 4 consecutive starts of 8 strikeouts or more at home.
Top of the order against Nice. Yankees have managed 3 singles against him. They trail 3-0. Jeter, Granderson, and Teixeira. Here's a stat that is a little bit of an eye-opener. Last time up, Derek grounded into a double play. He's grounded into 11 double plays so far this year. Today is June 10th. All of last year, he grounded into 10. Remember, he spent time on the DL with the calf injury, but 10 all year, 11 at this point.
And 10 of those in the last month.
Derek, the DH, and he is 1 for 12 in this series. Had a single last night. Slow roller. David Wright. Not in time. Infield single for Jeter.
Well, this is another thing Derek Jeter racks up his whole career. Infield hits. Perennially among the league leaders every year because he gets out of the box so well and runs straight through the bag.
Let's take a look at the Super Shot brought to you by Fujifilm Long Zoom digital cameras.
The lean forward, textbook for little leaguers. Look at that lean like a sprinter through the finish line. That's how you do it.
Granderson takes the strike. So the Yankees' 4th hit, all singles. Granderson had a home run last night, has 18 on the year. Last year he had 41 home runs, but he's ahead of that pace. He had 17 home runs through 58 games last year. This year, 18. There's Clay Rapata. If any player was perfect for a venue, it's Curtis Granderson for this ballpark. He locks and loads and aims for the lower deck and right.
He plays every day, straps it on and goes. Got a couple innings off the other night. I think it's the only rest he's had all year.
Crowd looking for something to cheer about. Serves that one into left field, a base hit. He doesn't go that way all that often, and he picks up a hit.
No, he doesn't. And battling back from 0-2, hits a really good Jonathan Nice fastball down and away. The direction was good. Off the end of the bat, towards the end of the bat. So well placed. Sometimes you make good pitches and they still get hits. Now the Yankees in business here. 1st and 2nd, nobody out, and the crowd's starting to come alive a little bit, Michael.
So now Mark Teixeira digs in. Fly to center and single to center. Jeter's on second. Granderson is on first. Nobody out in the bottom of the 6th inning. Only the second runner the Yankees have had in scoring position in the 2nd inning Alex got there, and then Swisher bunted.
Batting left-handed off of Dylan G. A hanging breaking ball right there. Finds the short porch.
In the dirt, blocked by Nikias.
Excellent 0-2 pitch. Jumped up 0-2 on Teixeira. Backdoor cutter and a fastball up, and then the hook right on home plate. Then back inside with the fastball as Teixeira fights it off. See if he goes back to that curveball that's been so effective the last couple of innings.
Two and two.
Got ahead of Granderson 0-2, couldn't put him away. Jumps up on Teixeira, now back to 2-2. Teixeira fighting back in this count.
Grounded to Quintanilla. And they get the force at second, that's all they get.
Teixeira on top of that curveball, tomahawks it. Quintanilla with an excellent play. Quick hands to get to Speedy Granderson.
Now Dan Warthen will come out and talk with Nice as Alex Rodriguez waits at home plate. Big spot for Alex. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Alex walked in the second, then hit a long fly ball to the right of dead center. He thought he got it. Instead, Andres Torres got it in front of the fence on the warning track. So a big spot as he's up with the tying run. And the Yankees make these work. You know what? That gets them into the Met bullpen, which is what every team wants to do. That's a weakness of their team. Their starters do a nice job. Their bullpen is shaky. Right now he's at 85 pitches. Strike on the inside corner. A-Rod tied with Eddie Murray all-time with 1,917 ribbies. Jimmy Fox is next. Let's see if they can turn two. There's one, and there's two. So Alex does not get it done and bangs into a 4-4-3 double play. No runs, 2 hits. One man left. We go to the 7th because this play, the second baseman, positioned beautifully, was an inning-ending double play. Get Verizon Fios for the internet that can handle everything you do online, no matter how many devices you use. Ivan Nova 7-2, 5.09. Randall Delgado 4-5, 4.26. For the Braves, our coverage will begin at 6:30 p.m. on the Yes Network. Right now, the Yankees are worried about this one. They're down 3-0, and Andy Pettitte is now out of the game. They will go to Clay Rapata. Now, Andy was at 93 pitches, if I remember, so you wonder if he's taken out because of that comebacker which he grabbed with his bare hand. And there's a strike to Quintanilla. This is the first time since he's come out of retirement that Andy has not pitched into the 7th inning. Swing and a miss by Quintanilla. Cadillac scoreboard 3-0. Mets leading. One and two.
Probably just a one-hitter appearance for Rapata against the lefty Quintanilla.
And he does his job. He strikes out Quintanilla. Looks like Joe's going to stay with him with the light-hitting Nikias coming up. Larry Rothschild talking to Mike Harkey in the bullpen. Count 1-0.
Valdespin on deck, so obviously 2 out of 3 here. Girardi going to ride Rapata out here in the 7th inning.
Strike. And you take a chance with Rapata because he's not good against righties. With the sidewinding motion, you get a good look at him. And he historically has real bad numbers against righty batters. So you face the Yankees, you want to stack the lineup righty-lefty, so that Rapata has to pay for staying in there. Let's see if Nikias can make him.
The good news is Rapata coming out throwing strikes. You know, the one knock on Rapata was his 12 walks in 15 innings. You see Valdespin on deck.
Granderson is there. They'll put it away for the second out. Here's Jordani Valdespin. Valdespin, the 2-run double in the second inning, a big blow right inside first base. Pass Mark Teixeira. Then he struck out in the 4th against Pettitte. If we get any information on Andy Pettitte's hand, of course we'll pass it along, and if we don't before we get off the air, we'll have it on the post-game show. Meredith will work the clubhouse, and Bob Lorenz and Jack Curry back in the studios. As soon as we have the info, we'll pass it on. If there's anything wrong, count 1-1. He's still got 2 outs after he had the comebacker. Popped up. Good job by Rapata. Russell Martin will make the play, and that will do it. So Rapata works a 1-2-3 inning. At the end of 6.5, it's time for the 7th inning stretch here at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. The New York Mets lead the New York Yankees 3-0, but we will stay right here to honor America.
Will you please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
here. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 3-5-0 Mets, 0-5-1 Yankees. Pettitte went 6 innings, and he's out of the game. Nice has gone 6 innings. He's still in the game. Valdespin with that big 2-run double in the second inning. All the scoring in the second, otherwise zeros on that board, and Nice is making it hold up. We'll hear more from Jack and Bob and Meredith on the postgame. Robinson Cano will lead off, 1 for 2. Foul back. Cadillac scoreboard, 3-0 Mets.
Nice in good shape here, too, in the 7th. Only 88 pitches. Just what the Mets needed. You know, they've been carried by their starting rotation all year long, and trying to avoid a sweep here today needed this kind of effort.
Another base hit for Cano. They had him play wide of third, and David Wright made a valiant try, but a base hit for Cano. Another update from Bob Lorenz in the studio. Bob? Thanks a lot, Bob. It's amazing what David Ortiz has done. What was it, last year? They thought he was done at the beginning of the year, and he's just turned it on. He had a great season last year and a really good start this season. Here's Nick Swisher.
Yeah, they've been calling for his demise almost for the last 3 years.
Grounded foul.
A real resurgence in production.
And he was a free agent at the end of last year, and they only wanted to give him a 1-year deal, so he accepted arbitration. See the Met bullpen, Miguel Batista, and the only lefty in that bullpen, Tim Burdack. Grounded to right. He bobbles, fires the second one on to first. Another play. Yankees cannot get anything going against Nice.
Well, good news, bad news. Good news, you hit it hard. Bad news, right at David Wright. Around the horn. Easily. Right on the button, but on the ground. Plenty of time.
So 2 down, and that'll bring up Andrew Jones. Yankees have flirted with doing something against Nice. They've had the leadoff man on in 5 of the 7 innings. Haven't been able to bring him around. And David in the scouting report gave you the stat. You got to get this guy early, and they had an opportunity in the second inning, first and second, nobody out, down 3, and Nick Swisher bunted, and it didn't work out. If it works out, maybe we wouldn't be talking about it. But the way it's progressed since that point, there's that stat we were talking about. I can't wait to hear why Nick bunted in the postgame. Nice play by Wright, does the 360 and fires, and Rotino cannot come up with the scoop. That'll be an E5 on David.
See, ranging, got to wheel around, got time, lets it go, looking for a little help, not going to get it.
Now that's some of what you lose when you don't start Ike Davis against a lefty, because Ike Davis is a pretty good first baseman, and Rotino cannot come up with the backhanded scoop.
See Rotino's reaction. He wanted to help out right there, but yeah, it's pretty normal for a third baseman with plenty of time to sort of spin around and get your feet under you. Try to get your shoulders lined up. It looked like David just pulled that ball a little bit and he tried to unleash it.
Here's Russell Martin. He has struck out twice against Nice. And there's a strike.
I can tell you one thing, back in the day, that was a play that Keith Hernandez ate up. One of the best pickers of the game. A great first baseman for the Mets. He's in the booth next to us.
There's Keith and Ronnie.
He puts that one in his hip pocket, no problem.
Let's give Gary some love. And there's Gary Cohen, too. Mets broadcast group. That one is drilled to right field. Backing up, Hairston reaches up. Gone! See ya! A home run! A two-run shot the other way! Yankees on the board. It's now 3-2 Mets. And the error by Wright looms large. David, how did that get out?
My goodness. Jeffrey Mayer might have snuck back into the ballpark. Up, up.
That's how it got out.
And a ricochet straight up. Is it going to be back in?
And the fan never leaned over, just plopped into his hand. So a big two-run home run by Russell Martin as they make the Mets pay for the right throwing error. And here is Nix. Grounded to short. Quintanilla. But the Yankees are back in this game. Off the top of the wall. And a fan makes the catch. A two-run shot. Hairston, a valiant try. But Russell Martin with the two-run bomb. 3-2 Mets lead. All of that adds up to Mets 3 and the Yankees 2. We have to take a look again at the Russell Martin home run because upon further evaluation, David.
Well, you see the angle. The ball bounces straight up. So right now, it's still in play. I think this ball's got a chance to come right back down in play. As there's the reach over by the fan. Now, that's not a definitive angle, but that's really close. That ball might have ended up bouncing straight up in the air and coming back down in play.
Little surprised that Terry Collins didn't come out and ask the umpires to take a look at that on replay. That's a replayable play. Don't know if the guy leaned over. If he did, he didn't lean over drastically, that's for sure. Maybe it comes straight back down, hits the top of the wall again. But that one is in the books right now. You can't review it now. Neuenhuis will pinch hit against Corey Wade, the Yankees' new pitcher. And there's a strike as Joe Girardi makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by AT&T. Boy, David, does that change the complexion of the game a lot?
Completely. You see Corey Wade on the season, the workhorse. 26 games already. Only 4 walks.
David Wright probably beating himself up over the throwing error. But David said something interesting on Friday. You know, we always say unearned runs, it's the fault of the guy who made the error, but there's some responsibility to the pitcher to pick up his guy. You know, if you gave up a hit after that, you still gave up the hit.
That's right. And one of the stats I look for, especially with starting pitchers, is exactly that. The differential between earned runs and unearned runs, because they tell a story. They tell the story of whether the pitcher falls apart after an infielder or an outfielder makes an error behind him. Tells a little story about the character of the pitcher.
Hyundai scoreboard 3-2. Mets lead here in the 8th inning. Neuenhuis fouls it back.
One of the old-time pitching coaches that I had for several years, a guy named Bill Fisher, who actually was the pitcher who gave up the mammoth home run to Mickey Mantle that hit the roof. That was one of his big stats he looked at.
The 0-2.
See a pitcher with a losing record and a lot of unearned runs. Well, yeah. Part of it's bad luck. Part of it is your own making as well.
Boone Logan heating up. High fly ball, right field. Off the end of the bat, Swisher will make the play for the first out. Verizon customers, you won't have to miss a game again now that you can watch live Yes Network Yankees games on your PCs or laptops with Verizon Fios. Get a full season of live Yankees games on the go for just $49.99. And if you're a Verizon Fios TV customer with Fios Internet, go to YesNetwork.com to get more information and subscribe now. Jason Bay takes a strike from Wade. Pettitte started, went 6. Rapata came on, a 1-2-3 7th. Now Corey Wade here in the 8th. Grounded to Alex Rodriguez. And he gets Bay to the second half.
Third baseman, David Wright.
Two-way here in the 8th inning. That'll bring up David Wright. And the pitch to Wright. There's a strike. There's another look, another angle on this home run. Let's see if this is conclusive, David.
Right on the edge and straight up. Well, you know, the thing of it is it didn't hit on top of the wall. It hit right on the edge, the angle of the wall, which creates the bounce going straight up, maybe even in a little bit. But it wasn't a top of the wall and over type of home run.
You know, with all the replays that we're looking at right now, the call on the field is that it was a home run. So if they saw all the reviews that you're looking at right now, all the replays, I don't know if they could have overturned it, because I don't know if there's conclusive evidence that the ball would have gone back on the field. Yeah, that would have been difficult to overturn, but if anything, based on that last shot, with the ball going straight up, it wouldn't have gone in the stands. It would have come right back down on top of the wall again, and then another ricochet. 3-2. But a great swing by Russell Martin, nonetheless. You're lost in the fact. Another good at-bat by Russell Martin. And a bullet to right field. Everybody's telling him he's on TV. He looked like he reached over a bit to me. But like we said, none of the replays were conclusive. And let's say if it did come back down on the top of the wall, who knows what it does on the second bounce? Does it bounce into the seats or back onto the field? Because I don't think it comes strictly back on the field. That's a tough call, and an umpire has to go a long way, and there's no way he can get to that spot and see it with the naked eye. He's got to make a judgment call. Three-two to right, and he works a walk. One thing we also have to say about those two fans, they did not reach in and interfere with the play. They could have done that, leaned over the wall, made it tough for Hairston. They just leaned back, and then when the ball ricocheted up, that's when he grabbed the ball. I don't think he had any ill intent. It's almost the anti-Jeffrey Mayer who reached over to make the catch. Those guys backed away, and then they made the catch. Now we talk about an umpire being out there. Richie Garcia was out there in the Jeffrey Mayer play right next to Tony Tarasco, and you don't always get it right. Pitch to Hairston is inside.
Yeah, you obviously had the extra umpire in postseason down the lines, so Richie Garcia was, as Michael said, right next to the play.
Russell Martin, he gets a 2-run home run, and it stands. 3-2 Mets lead, top of the 8th. Runner at first, 2 outs. Wright walks with 2 outs.
Hairston with a good day offensively. Talked about his numbers batting against left-handed pitching. Average up to 291. Very aggressive hitter, though. Only 8 walks on the year. David Wright peeking in for the signs right there. He's watching the catcher, trying to read the signs and pick an off-speed pitch to run on.
Like that.
A lot of the great base stealers in the history of the game have been so adept at that, being able to peek at those signs. That's why it's so important for the catcher to try to block it with his shin guard. See, Martin trying to turn in his shin guard, right, still peeking. The great Willie Wilson, one of the fastest runners in the history of the game. The Kansas City Royals center fielder was one of the best in the game at this right here. Peek, peek, looking.
And he goes. Strike 3. End of the inning. So that'll do it here in the 8th. No runs. And 1 man left. Top of the order for the Yankees. part by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy fixes tired fast. By J&R Music and Computer World. And by Acura. Acura Advance. Well, the Mets now have to reach into their bullpen. And Bobby Parnell is the guy they call on, and the Met bullpen has been a weakness, and we mentioned that earlier. They have had 12 blown saves. They have an ERA of 5.46 as a bullpen. Bobby Parnell has been one of the better Met pitchers out of the pen. 3.04 ERA. We know he throws hard. He can reach 100 miles an hour. Hyundai scoreboard, Mets lead 3-2. Top of the Yankee order, Derek Jeter will lead it off. Chopped slowly to short. Charging his Quintanilla. It's under his glove, and it rolls into center field. Jeter's going for two. He slides. He's in there. Just like that.
Well, Jeter had an infield single his last time up, and once again he smells it. Right out of the box, down the line. I don't know if he saw that go through himself or if he got help from Mick Kelleher, the first base coach, but never hesitating and easily a hustle double. He peeks it, sees it himself.
That's going to be scored a single and an E6, allowing him to go to second base. So they don't think that he would have gotten him at first base. Jeter runs so well at first, and then Jeter hustled it into two.
And that is the right score because Quintanilla knows he's got to make the transition quickly and whiffs.
All right, so Curtis Granderson just had a talk with Rob Thompson. Do you let Granderson try to pull the ball, which is what he does, or do you have him bunt here to move Jeter over to third? I think you let him pull the ball, David. And that's what they'll do. 96-mile-an-hour fastball inside.
It's very difficult to ask Granderson to bunt right here. Got a better chance of hitting it out of the ballpark than bunting Jeter to third.
Kirk Neuenhuis in center. Ike Davis at first as Terry Collins tightens his defense up. Ground ball, foul. Past Davis.
And Curtis Granderson just a little out in front of that curveball. Shows you how good a fastball Granderson is. Fastball hitter he is, because Parnell, the flamethrower, goes to the curveball, which is a much easier ball to pull. But Granderson notoriously great against power pitchers. Good dead red hitter.
The 1-1. That's dead red right there at 98 miles an hour, 2-1. Yankees trying to come back from a 3-0 deficit. The Yankees trying to sweep this series against the Mets. Jeter's at second. Nobody out, bottom of the eighth. Line drive, left field. It's a base hit. Jeter held up. And they're going to hold him up as Bay comes in with the throw to David Wright. Second time today that Granderson has gone to left field, and the Yankees are set up. First and third, nobody out.
Well, indeed it is. You'll see Jeter just with a slight hesitation there on the line drive to left, and a great call by Rob Thompson. Right now, get it to him early. Get it to him early. That's what runners want. Rob Thompson, get it in position. Jeter the hesitation. Now let him know now. Nobody out. We'll take our chances. First and third, nobody out.
All right, here's Mark Teixeira. The Mets will take the double play, and they'll give up the run to tie the game, but the Yankees looking bigger picture than that. Teixeira's 1 for 3 today. He singled up the middle in the fourth inning. Granderson a threat to go. He leads off first. Not running as much as he used to. 98 outside, 1-0.
Again, good matchups for the Yankees. As you see, the pen for the Mets is up and running. Double barrel. Teixeira and Granderson right here. Great fastball hitters. Parnell with some cheese.
A 1-0. Moved by it, 1-1. Power against power right here. And Soriano is up in the Yankee bullpen. He closed yesterday's game.
No shift for Teixeira.
Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit. The Yankees have tied the score. Granderson is going to third. The throw comes into second. It's an RBI single for Teixeira. It's a 3-3 game.
Mets playing for the double play, pretty much straight up. The shortstop cheating a little bit to the bag. That leaves this hole open just enough. And Granderson, great base running, never hesitating. Been a while since Teixeira's hit a ground ball in this location and seen it go through.
So Mark Teixeira now has 16 ribbies over his last 16 games. The Mets bring the infield in for Alex Rodriguez. The go-ahead run is at third here in the bottom of the eighth. First and third, nobody out. Skied the other way and foul. And the 0-1. 1-1. Take a look at Jeter scoring here. Looks like a little hitch in his giddy up there. We'll see if he comes out to play shortstop in the ninth. Doesn't seem overly stressed. Yankees have double the hits of the Mets and only now starting to cash in some of those hits. So it's 3-10-1 Yanks and 3-5-2 for the Mets. Big spot for A-Rod after he banged into a double play in the sixth inning. Just missed outside with the breaking ball. In this inning, the Met problems are somewhat crystallized. They're not a good defensive team, and their bullpen has been porous all year, and we've seen it right here in the eighth. And look at the Met bullpen numbers. Another blown save with this one.
Jonathan Neese, the lefty started for the Mets, almost all but forgotten. A great effort today.
If you think about it, the error by Wright allowed Russell Martin to hit that home run. Then the error by Quintanilla kind of made this a big inning when Jeter hustled it to second base. And Jonathan Neese is the one who gets nothing out of a pretty good performance. The 2-2. Lofted to somewhat shallow right field. Is anybody going to get it? No, it finds grass. It's a base hit. Scoring is Granderson, and the Yankees lead 4-3 on the bloop single by Alex Rodriguez. Terry Collins is going to go to his bullpen and probably hold his breath.
This is why batters bat a lot higher in terms of average with the infield playing in. Because even on a blooper, not enough time to get there. Normally, this is an easy pop-up for the second baseman, but with the infield all the way in, you're going to catch a break.
And Alex said, I'll take it. That's for sure. I've hit some hard ones that were caught. Yankees lead 4-3. Truck of the New York Yankees. So Alex Rodriguez with that bloop single drives in the go-ahead run here in the 8th inning, and he also moves up a notch on the all-time RBI list. That ribby breaks the tie with Eddie Murray, and next up is Jimmy Fox. So Alex, 7th of all the players that have ever played Major League Baseball, 7th driving in runs, and number 1 is Hank Aaron at 22.97. But that's a sidebar today as the Yankees have come all the way back from down 3-0 to the Mets. They scored 2 in the 7th, 2 in the 8th. And they have 2 on here in the 8th, still nobody out. Tim Burdack, who's done a nice job this year, will come in to face Robinson Cano. 1-0.
Michael noted about the struggles of the pen, but Burdack been a real pleasant surprise.
Slowly hit to right. He fields, and that's all he gets. It was a little bobble there, but it was also too long to get to the bag and get Cano, so 1 away.
Slider, cue shot right off the end of the bat. Almost looked like it was still spinning once it hit his glove. Watch this ball spinning still, kind of trying to get out of that glove from the spin effect off the end of the bat.
If you look ahead to the 9th inning, who Soriano's going to have to face, it'll be Duda, Rotino, and no, not Rotino anymore. Duda, Ike Davis, and Omar Quintanilla. That's coming up in the 9th as the Yankees will try to protect this lead. Here's Nick Swisher, pitches high at 1-0.
Swisher came into this game just hitting .216, batting right-handed.
Popped up. David Wright near the stands. And he's going to make the seats. Coming up later, catch the WB Mason postgame as Bob Lawrence and Jack Curry recap the big plays from today's series finale and get the latest scores from around baseball. Plus, Meredith Morakovitz is in the clubhouse for the team's reaction. We'll hear from Joe Girardi. It's all later on the WB Mason postgame only on Yes. First and second for the Yankees now with one out. A-Rod's at second, Cano's at first, Swisher at the plate. The attendance, 49,010. So all 3 games this weekend against the Mets sold out. And now 4 sellouts for the Yankees this year. Opening day, and then these 3. Count 2-1. Yankees head to Atlanta after the game. The Mets head to Tampa Bay. High fly ball, right field. Hairston settles underneath to make the play for the second out. Terry Collins is going to call on a righty, and this is a gamble for Collins, because you call on a righty now, you're going to have Ibanez come up against that righty aiming for the shorter porch, and he's going to gamble. He'd rather have the righty against Ibanez than Burdack against Andrew Jones. The righty is John Roush. Does Joe Girardi counter? We'll see. Matchups against the Braves and the Nationals. Then on Yankees on Deck, presented by Blimpie, Eric Chavez offers some helpful hints for Little Leaguers. It's all later after the postgame only on Yes. But as we mentioned, that is later. We're still in the bottom of the 8th inning. The Yankees, with 2 runs in the 8th, have taken the lead over the Mets, and the Mets go to the 3rd pitcher of the inning. John Roush will come on. 30 base runners in 23 and 2/3 innings, just 13 strikeouts. A 4.56 ERA, and Joe Girardi does counter and sends up Ibanez to pinch hit for Andrew Jones. Jones was 0 for 3 while he was in there. But Jones did reach on the E5 by David Wright, and that allowed Russell Martin to hit the home run. A-Rod's at second, and Cano is at first. 1-1.
The Yankees originally envisioned Ibanez when they signed him in the offseason as sort of the platoon of the DH. Now he's the platoon of left field, along with Andrew Jones. Interesting note, the Elias Bureau today. We talk about interleague play, Michael, and Ibanez was supposed to be the DH. 30 interleague games played in American ballparks. AL DHs are batting .303 with 7 homers compared to .227 versus the National League counterpart.
Now, I used to always think that the American League was at a disadvantage because pitchers just don't hit when they play in the National League. But I actually think the National League's at more of a disadvantage because the way their rosters are built, David, they don't have that big slugger as a DH on the bench.
It's been harder for the National League clubs to find a DH than it has been for the American League clubs to sit the DH in the National League parks.
The 2-2. Swing and a miss. So Roush strikes out the pinch hitter Ibanez. The anatomy of a rally for the Yankees. Derek Jeter turns that into 2 bases. Then Curtis Granderson with a single to left field. Mark Teixeira with an RBI single ties it, and a bloop single gives the Yankees the lead. Text your vote to 42951 or vote online at yesnetwork.com. Today's candidates are number 1, Russell Martin, number 2, Jonathan Neese, number 3, Mark Teixeira, number 4, Alex Rodriguez. You can vote now, make your voice heard. Standard text messaging rates apply. Well, the Yankees will go to their closer, Rafael Soriano. First, they bring in Dwayne Wise for Ibanez, who would pinch hit for Jones, so Wise is in left field. And Soriano is on the mound. Soriano, 9 for 9 in save opportunities. And Joe Girardi, and you'll hear this on the Joe Girardi show later on, said that when Robertson comes back, Robertson's pitching the 8th inning, and Soriano will stay the closer, and that makes sense. Here's Lucas Duda. One and 0.
Things have a way of working themselves out sometimes with regard to bullpens, or pitching overall for that matter.
There's a strike. Mariano Rivera will have his surgery in 2 days have his knee repaired on June 12th after they got rid of the blood clot and the swelling went down. And usually that surgery takes about a year. So you'd be looking at Soriano closing for the first 2.5 months next year as well. And the Yankees paid him his insurance for Mariano, and right now they are cashing in on that policy. The 2-1. Driven into center field. It's over the head of Granderson and goes to the wall. Duda is at second with a leadoff double. Outfielders hate the ball hit right at them, and that's exactly what it was. And Granderson froze for just a moment.
You see, Duda's 6'4", 260, and he's got some thunder. And that ball is on the button. And Granderson kind of freezes, and that's a straight line drive right over his head. See a little freeze by Granderson right away. And that ball is smoked. Lucas Duda's got that kind of pop, too.
All right, here's Ike Davis hitting 162. Had a base hit yesterday, also worked a walk. Did not start today against the lefty Pettitte. (4-3) Yankees lead the tying run at second base for the Mets. 1-0. Count 1-1.
It's a huge spot for Ike Davis. Struggling this year, and you see that has been the problem all year. Just chasing that pitch out of the zone. His chase rates are way up this year. He's getting good balls to hit. Really the key for him to turn his season around. A big spot right here.
And he cashes in that big spot. He wraps one into right center field. It is a base hit. That's going to tie the game. As Duda scores, Ike Davis with an RBI double, and we're knotted at 4. That is Ike Davis's first hit in the 9th inning all year. He was 0 for 8 previously.
After the slider in the dirt, the fastball right down the middle. That had to feel good for Ike Davis.
Here's Quintanilla, and he's showing bunt, takes outside. So that's the first blown save for Soriano. 9 for 10 now. As A-Rod will go over and talk with the reliever. Now what A-Rod wants is for Soriano to field the bunt toward third so he can actually back up. Ike Davis does not have great speed at second base.
So Girardi's going to come out. Now's the time that you could definitely get a little tricky with your bunt defense. Maybe a wheel play where A-Rod could crash and Nix, the shortstop, breaks towards third to try to cut down the runner. It's a little more difficult without the force play at third. Usually the wheel play works better with first and second. We've got force plays all around. And I guarantee you that's what they're talking about right now is bunt defense.
And one thing that we've seen in this series, Quintanilla can handle the bat. So if he sees the infielders moving, you wouldn't be surprised if they turn him loose and let him slap the ball.
And that's the counter, exactly. This is a straight up defensive play where rather than the shortstop breaking, you pinch with the pitcher and the two ends. First baseman, third baseman crash. And you go ahead and concede the runner getting to third. The way you cut him down is you do the wheel play and the shortstop breaks to third.
That's what they're doing this time, and he did swing away. And they're going to go to third. Do they get the out? Yes, they do. Nice play by Jason Nix. It was a gamble, but they get Ike Davis. Boy, what a gamble by Nix.
It was a gamble. They do put the wheel play on where the shortstop's going to break this way, but Nix reads it and stops and is able to backtrack, and not only backtrack and field it, but take a chance. Cutting down Ike Davis at third.
Let's see if they made the play right. Yep, good call by the third base umpire, Tim Cheetah. Got him on the back before the hand hit. Daniel Murphy will pinch hit for Mike Nickius. Boy, what a gutty play by Jason Nix. As David said, he was heads up enough to stop and see that it wasn't a bunt. That's why he was able to field the ball. And then to have the guts to throw to third base. You were looking at first and third, nobody out. Well, with the game tied, you might want to look ahead. It's going to be Martin, Nix, and Jeter in the bottom of the ninth. Here's another look at that play.
This is the wheel play. Shortstop's breaking, reading, stops, retracts, and you got to make the decision now. He didn't even have time to look at the runner. You just almost instinctively take that chance and wheel and throw to third.
And Ike Davis is not blessed with speed, and that help matters as well.
A quick read by Nix, too, to read the bat and see that it was going to be sort of the old butcher boy play as opposed to the bunt, where the hitter will square around and fake bunt and then pull the bat back. Nix with a great read.
By Joe Girardi going to the mound, sometimes you let the other team outthink themselves. Rather than just lay down the bunt, they started to think. Because Collins probably figuring, well, they're going to put the wheel play on now since the manager came out and spoke about it, and he turned Quintanilla loose.
And Quintanilla did the right thing, hit the ball on the ground where the vacated hole would have been.
And another consideration is that Nix didn't have to sell out completely and just put his head down and run to third, because Davis isn't that fast, so he was able to run with management and stop when he saw that Quintanilla was putting the ball in play. So now 3-1 on Murphy. Pinch hitting for Nickius. Now 3-2. Now do they send Quintanilla at first base with one out in the 3-2 count? The wheels are turning here in the ninth inning. Yankees and the Mets, 4-4 game. Final game of a 3-game set. They do send the runner, and it's a base hit to right field. Quintanilla will stop at third. A pinch hit single for Murphy, and the Mets have runners on the corners with just one out. And that's going to do it for Soriano. So with Valdespin due up, they're going to go with Boone Logan. And the Mets then will counter with Josh Tolley pinch hitting for Valdespin. Soriano is not pleased. Usually don't see a closer lifted while the game is still tied. So Soriano gets booed as he walks off the mound, and the Yankees go to the bullpen. the big hits and great plays, just watch the encore later every night or again the next morning at 9. And it's brought to you by our good friends at Verizon Fios. So Joe Girardi takes out Soriano, brings in Logan, and Collins takes out Valdespin and sends up Josh Thole. Those are the numbers on Logan. You might say, well, why are they bringing in Thole, who's a left-hander anyway? Well, you just pinch hit for Nikia, so you've got to bring in Thole, and you figure Tole's a better hitter than Valdespin. It comes down to that.
Big spot for Boone Logan, as you saw those 29 strikeouts. Very capable of missing bats.
Breaking ball, no bite upstairs, 1-0. Mets scored 3 in the second inning against Pettitte. Then the Yankees answered back with 2 in the 7th and 2 in the 8th to take a 4-3 lead. Mets have come back with 1 in the top of the 9th to tie the game. 4-4. One man out, runners on the corners. Good fastball, but low, 2-0. We've got Neuenhuis on deck.
Still got to make a good pitch here. Boone Logan does. Still has to be in a good spot because you do have a base open.
Into the seats on the left side, 2-1.
4-4 game here in the 9th inning. Sometimes first base doesn't have to be open. Second base can be open, and you've got room to put a base runner, especially with another lefty on deck. With a good pitch there by Logan, he got a strike, he got it down in a good location, and beat Thole with that fastball. Let's see if he goes with the slider here, 2-1.
Now 2-2, 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
Another fastball and another good swing by Thole, trying to go down and away, and that was a good swing. Thole timing it. He knows it. You see his reaction. Good fastball, good swing.
Does that swing scare you off the fastball again if you're Logan?
I would throw a slider here, definitely. I would go for the strikeout or the ground ball right now. Well, Logan, very capable of striking somebody out with that fastball, but you see the 3 for the slider.
Foul back. Nail-biting time on both sides of the aisle. Yankees and Met fans inching up on the edge of the couch, I'm sure, as this game is tied at 4. Mets trying to avoid a sweep. Yankees trying to sweep.
Logan got away with that one. A hanger and another good swing by Thole. The fate of a reliever, you got to be on right now.
Got him. Strike 3. Thole down looking. And he barks at Muchlinski.
It's the slider. Thole thinks it's down. Certainly right down the middle. A good pitch to hit, actually.
I don't know if he has much of an argument there.
Borderline, but right down the middle. Boy, it's hard to take that pitch in that situation.
Here's Neuenhuis with the use of Thole. Collins doesn't have anybody else on his bench. Pitch outside. Mets carry 7 relievers and 4 extra players. All 4 have been used by Collins as he tries to pull this game out. First and third, 2 outs. 2-0.
Russell Martin right away smothers it. Not taking any chances. Watch how quick he gets into the block mode. And not the easiest one either, off the front of home plate.
Buzzed him with the fastball upstairs, 3-0. Jason Bay is on deck for the Mets. Captain can't watch. Oh. 94-mile-an-hour fastball strike. NYN, a rookie who's done a nice job. 287, 3 homers, and 20 runs batted in. Grounded right side, grabbed there by Cano, and he flips to Teixeira, and Logan comes in and gets out of a jam. But the Mets tie the score 1 run on 3 hits with 2 left. Russell Martin tied the game. Check a 2-run home run in the 7th. He's going to bat leading off the bottom of the 9th. Foiled by Robinson Cano. Nice play there to the glove side. And he gets the out. And the Yankees go to the bottom of the 9th inning tied. NYN very aggravated. Boone Logan's not. Terry Collins thought for a moment and dropped his head. And he knows he has to protect the lead and hope for extra innings. Protect a tie and hope for extra innings. There's Daniel Murphy at second. And totally behind the plate.
That's why they keep Rolaids in the dugout for the managers. The ups and downs. Had a 3-0 lead. Now you're in a battle.
Russell Martin started this. Yankees seemed somewhat out of it. Down 3-0. Didn't have great at bats. Couldn't get big hits, but an error by Wright allowed a base runner, and then Martin connected for a home run just off the top of the wall on the W.B. Mason sign out in right field. bounced straight up in the air, came down in the hands of a fan. 2-run home run, and all of a sudden the Yankees run it. The gentleman in the blue Nike shirt is the one who caught it.
He's been on the horn ever since.
Well, Martin would like to get on. That's the winning run if he gets on. Nix is on deck. That one is drilled to left field. Going back Bay. On the track. At the wall. See ya. Ball game over. Yankees win 5-4 on a walk-off home run by Russell Martin. Last time the Yankees had a walk-off home run, September 8th, 2010. And that was Nick Swisher against the Orioles. And a bad weekend for the Mets in the Bronx. Well, Russell Martin is the hero. 2 home runs, and he's with Meredith Marakovitz. Meredith?
Russell, tie ball game. You come up to the plate. It's a 3-2 count. What are you looking for there?
Well, he's been throwing the slider a lot to me, so I kind of had that in the back of my mind. Left it over the plate, and I took a good swing.
Seemed like a heck of a celebration out there coming across the plate. Take me through that.
Yeah, I mean, I think I lost my mind right there. I tried to jump, and I think I got 2 inches off the ground, but it still felt good.
You were the guy that put this team on the board with a 2-run homer. That one in particular, did you think that one was out? Because it seemed like you stalled a little bit going around first.
It was a low-line drive. I'm glad that short porch is out there. So it was a good win.
What does it mean to this team to be able to sweep the Mets here at home?
It feels good. I mean, Mets got a tough team. You got to play good against them to win, and we did that.
Russell, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Guys, send it back to you.
Thank you, Meredith. So Russell Martin with the game winner, and you have to stick around for the post-game show to find out who's today's Chevy player of the game. I wonder who that's going to be, David.
Well, Russell Martin is exactly right. He's looking for a slider after 5 straight sliders. The 6th one is going to leave the yard, and John Roush is already walking off the ballpark. See here, the hanging slider right there. Russell Martin begging. Stay fair. It does.
And there's the leap and the score. And strangely, though, as we watch Russell being interviewed by Meredith Marakovitz and now on the radio side by Susan Waldman, there's no pie on the menu for the Yankees. When you get to home plate, though, a little water, but no pie. But a win nonetheless. The Yankees sweep the Mets in dramatic fashion, and we'll be back.